Assalamualaikum to Dr. Bahiyah and friends. First of all, we want to say thank you to all of you that watched our video. You guys can give feedback, comments, or questions at the comment below. Before we start our discussion, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Irdina AQILAH binti Muhammad FADIL, and my other two friends is NURFAZUREEN binti MAKTAR and Chen Shimin. The topic that we are going to discuss is teaching young scientists, challenge and trend in Malaysia's science education. So now, I would like to invite Chen Shimin to give some information about this topic. Shimin, what is your opinion about challenge in Malaysia's science education?
In my opinion, one of the challenge to teaching young scientists is students' attitude and commitment to study science are very important for gaining science knowledge. During COVID-19, school was closed due to Movement Control Order, MCO, that started on 18 March 2020 until 9 June 2020. So, during this duration, students need to learn from home via online learning. In this situation, teacher can't physically guide students one by one like in school or class. Therefore, students need to be responsible and disciplined in their own study by doing the activity that teachers are given. Moreover, students' confidence in science is also important in learning process, as students need to achieve higher order thinking skill like analyze, evaluate, and create. None of this can be completed by students without confidence because they need to be bravely give their own opinion whether it's right or wrong to solve a problem. Every mistake teaches the student something new and they become more confident. According to TIMSS 2019, Malaysian students like to learn science and the percentage of students very fond on learning science is 46%, higher than the international average, which is 35%. While another 46% of Malaysian students like to learn science and only 8% of students doesn't like to study science. However, only 8% of students in Malaysia have confidence in science, and this percentage is lower than the international average, which is 23%. There are many factors that make students less confident in science. For example, students' lack of practical practice about science topic, students not deeply understanding science topic, and unable to apply science knowledge in real life or during solving problems. As a result, the student's attitude and confidence will affect the student's achievement in science. Do you have anything to add?
Yes, I have something to add about the challenge that comes from students. In my point of view, students do not attend class and attending class in a hurry and being tired are also big challenges to nourish young scientists. Firstly, some students have some issue that causes them to be absent from school. For example, family reasons, bullying, and anxiety. This has been proven by PISA 2018 that students who were frequently bullied were more likely to miss school, while students who valued education and had a better disciplinary atmosphere and received more emotional support from their parents were less likely to skip school. During MCO, the influence of parents of children's learning is more obvious as some parents have time to assist and accompany children in study, while some have no time to assist their children. Back to the point, skipping school has affected student achievement in science. According to TIMSS 2019, Malaysian students have lower attendance rates than the international average and most regional countries. In addition, TIMSS 2019 also analyzed a positive relationship between the frequency of absenteeism and student achievement in science. Thus, this issue must be addressed and resolved. Unlike other Western countries, Malaysia starts classes at 7:30, which is quite early, making students have not enough sleep or rest time. Some of them also attend tuition classes after school, giving them less time to have leisure time. This also causes their parents have not enough time to prepare a healthy breakfast for their children, causing students to be tired and hungry. Based on the TEAMS 2019, students' needs such as getting enough sleep and eating enough before going to school are crucial factors in the acceptance and mastery of deep information. However, the performance of students that feel tired every day or almost every day is higher than students that do not feel tired. This analysis is also same with the student that feel hungry every day or almost every day, and the student do not feel hungry.
Let me continue the discussion. I think one of the challenges to teach young scientists in Malaysia is lack of resources and facilities. Studies show that the level and quality of resources and facilities in school can affect the quality of teaching and learning in the classroom. In Malaysia, only 2% of students are not affected by resources and facilities. 77% of students are slightly affected, and 20% are severely affected when there is a lack of resources and facilities. According to Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study, TEAMS, there are several types of resources and facilities in schools that influence the teaching and learning process. One of them is materials and scientific apparatus for conducting experiments. Science laboratory equipment allows students to utilize the data gathered from the books as well from the material world for developing pragmatic logic and rationale. Students are made to use the various tools and equipment with different techniques to improve their overall science literacy. Without experiment tools, students did not regularly engage in conducting experiments. Hence, the students can't understand well and lose their interest in learning science. To be clear, biological processes and chemical reactions are part of science that cannot be explained in theory. In most cases, teachers must look for practical videos on the internet and better comprehend our studies. When the students just watch the video, students can't really understand and can't imagine the real process. This can be the challenge for the teachers to make sure students understand well about the experiment involved.
I totally agree that lack of facility in school, especially experiment tool, that can be the challenge for teachers to teach young scientists. There are some equipment in school that are old and unusable, but do not replace with new one. Even to conduct experiment, there is not enough chemical substances available in the laboratory. It is because there is not enough budget to get the facility. The school does not take any initiative to outsource its budget. As Irdina said just now, teacher can just show the YouTube video to help students understand the experiment. But this situation can be worse when the teacher have to teach students in rural areas. In rural areas, there is a lack of experiment tool coupled with no internet access and technology to show the experimental video to the students. This issue indirectly can affect the teacher's motivation in teaching and learning in class if they have no idea on how to teach students without conducting experiment. This can be proved with the report observation done by National Clearinghouse on educational facilities that found that lack of facilities in the school setting caused the teachers to feel discouraged to teach their students.
Yes, that is so true. I agree with Shimin and Irdina when both of you said that lack of resources and facilities are one of the challenges in teaching young scientists. Other than that, there are other challenges teaching young scientists. Based on my research, another challenge is that teachers need to be creative in teaching science. This is because science cannot be taught theory only. Teachers need to be creative in teaching science subjects to make it easier for students to see and understand the topic better. Teachers need to make science fun for the student. According to Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study, which is TEAMS, it shows that 35% of students in Malaysia like so much in learning science, but only 20% did not like learning science. So the teachers need to take the opportunity to decrease the percentage of students that do not like science subject. Teachers need to encourage the students to love science subject in various kind of ways. For example, teaching science using video recordings at any platform or media such as YouTube. There are some topics in science that need to show visually, not just theory. Let me give an example. There is one topic in science which is heart movement. The videos that are displayed by teachers in class will attract students to fall in love with science. Besides that, teacher also can bring a model heart to class. Teacher need to engage students to be more excited in learning science. Give the student a chance to try or use the model. We need the student to be like, wow, what are these teacher? Or wow, what are we going to learn today? So this is the kind of situation that we need in class. So this clearly shows that there are so many ways to teach fun in science, and the creativity of teacher is so important in teaching science. How about you, Irdina? Do you agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you, Eva, because after the teachers manage to encourage students to learn and love science, the teachers also can help increase students' achievement in their examination. Therefore, creativity in teaching science is really important, and it is one of the challenges for science teachers because they need to always be creative to engage students, or we call them young scientists, to learn science. Consequently, they would like to further their studies in science course. So, as we can see, there are many challenges for science teachers in teaching young scientists. We already discussed three challenges, which are students' attitude and commitment to study science, lack of resources and facilities, and the last one is teachers need to be creative in teaching science.
Yes, I agree with Irdina that teaching young scientists has numerous obstacles for science teacher. So let us start to discuss what and how the current and latest trends in curriculum approach in our country education system can help science teacher teaching young scientists.
All right, let me start our discussion about trends in science education in Malaysia. In my opinion, one of the trends in science education in Malaysia is STEM. First of all, STEM is defined as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEM is an approach to education that focuses on the hard science, develops critical thinking skill, and improve problem-solving abilities. In the Malaysia Education Development Plan, which is known as Pelan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia, PPPM, has placed STEM education as an important agenda in the transformation of education to prepare the younger generation to face the challenges of the 21st century. STEM education in PPPM is implemented in three phases. The first one is Wave 1, which is 2013 until 2015, which is strengthening the quality of STEM education initiated through curriculum strengthening, teachers testing and training, and the use of multimodal learning models. The second one is Wave 2, which is 2016 until 2020, which is campaigns and collaborations with relevant bodies implemented to attract public interest and awareness in STEM. And the last one is Wave 3, which is 2021 until 2025, which is STEM will be shifted toward excellence through increased operational breadth. According to Central Rivers Area Education Agency 2016, most people misunderstood what STEM is, and they think it is something that happen after school life. In my point of view, STEM start when children are very young. This is because young kids are always very curious about how the world works or what they can do within the world with objects. For example, teachers can bring Legos to class. Teacher can set the theme such as build your dream car. I am very sure that every student in class will build different kind of car. At this time, the teachers will see how the students, or we call them young scientists, are thinking about building or innovation. Other than that, when they engage in this STEM experience, they started to view failures while trying to build, and they no longer felt ashamed when they made a mistake. This is because it was just part of learning. Thus, this clearly shows that early experiences with STEM in school is so important instead of waiting after school life to learn about it.
I totally agree with you, Eva. This is because STEM is not just a subject at school. STEM is a way of thinking and doing to solve some problems. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but it is not about being an expert in all of those things. Besides communication, listening, reading, and writing skills, STEM helps to produce young scientists that can develop new ideas, improve critical thinking skills, and also can improve problem-solving abilities. This is one of the ways that will attract students to fall in love with science. STEM can not only make students aspire to become a scientist, but if students are interested in STEM, they can become engineers, doctors, and mathematicians. This is because STEM skills are useful to almost every career. STEM careers can start small, then change the world. Engaging the young scientists in schools could be the first step to delivering driverless vehicles to the roads, or starting entering science project competition at schools could produce students that can cure the cancer when they grow up. So we can see that STEM is one of the trends in science education in Malaysia. How about you, Shimin? Do you want to continue this topic with other trends in science education?
Thank you for letting me to continue this topic. In my point of view, new pedagogies for deep learning, NPDL, is also the current and latest trend in curriculum approach. Michelle Fullen, a major specialist on education reform, has created a global program called New Pedagogy for Deep Learning, NPDL. There is 6 elements, which is creativity, citizenship, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and character. This is also known as the 6C, are at the center of NPDL. NPDL can overcome the challenge of the lack of confidence of students in science when it is applied in science subject. Creativity is defined as the ability to produce something new or in a novel way while leveraging prior information. It's denote not only art but also a variety of real-life solutions to a problem. Next is citizenship. Citizenship requires children to be aware of all that surround them, including culture and community. After that is critical thinking. Critical thinking is the process of evaluating, analyzing, and challenging information from a variety of sources before synthesizing it into a form that is useful to an individual. It enables students to comprehend the information offered and apply it to their daily life. After that, communication is the ability to deliver information in a clear and meaningful manner. It's also necessitated attentive listening and the ability to articulate idea clearly. Informing, instructing, motivating, and persuading are some of the goals of communication. Moreover, collaboration is the art of combining different personality, talents, and knowledge to achieve the best possible result. The final product must benefit a group or the entire community. The shared output has a higher value than a sum of separate outcomes because of synergy. Finally, the last C is character. Character is recognizing the meaning of human connectivity in a technology. Advanced society is a critical skill to instill in youngsters. It involves a commitment to assisting a student in becoming responsible, caring, and helpful members of society. If a student successfully applies 6C in science classwork, they were able to master the science topic as they have practiced in real life. Other than that, there is another kind of pedagogy which is e-pedagogy. With the help of technology, such as internet and technology device, 6C of education can be easily achieved as the internet can connect people from different hemispheres to another hemisphere. Students can access information all over the world with just a click and learn how to credit and honor others' creator. Students also can learn application of technology, which are conceptual change, differentiation, learning together, metacognition, and scaffolding. In summary, pedagogy is a new form of education approach, which includes personal, partnership, and work or environment. What about others?
Other than NPDL and e-pedagogy, science, technology, innovation, and economics, which is STIE, is also a current and latest trend in curriculum approach that can solve this issue. In 2020, 10-10-MY-ST framework is derived. In this framework, there are 10 science and technology drivers and 10 socioeconomic 10 socioeconomic drivers. The 10 science and technology drivers are 5G or 6G network, sensor technology, 4D or 5D printing, advanced materials, advanced intelligence system, cyber security and encryption, augmented analytics and data discovery, blockchain, neurotechnology, and bioscience technology. Furthermore, the 10 socioeconomic drivers are energy, business and financial service, culture, arts and tourism, medical and healthcare, smart technology and system, smart cities and transportation, water and food, agriculture and forestry, education, and lastly, environment and biodiversity. The framework lays out a step-by-step plan for turning Malaysia into a knowledge-intensive economy. Its goal is to increase Malaysia's position in the global innovation value chain by generating shared economic success throughout the country's different ecosystems. Prof. Datuk Dr. Asma Ismail, President of Academic Science Malaysia, ASM, state, with the 10-10-MY-ST framework, we want to breathe fresh life into Malaysia research, innovation, and entrepreneurial operations. The framework proposes a new holistic ecosystem strategy for co-creating a better future for the country. Solution for another issue, which is students skip school due to various problems, is bring them to school guidance and counseling unit. Since 1960, guidance and counseling service were first introduced in the Malaysian school system. Since then, students who have stress problems can ask for help from guidance and counseling unit. Moreover, by using modern technologies such as gamification, counselor can incorporate game mechanics into a non-game environment to promote involvement of students in guidance and counseling programs. For example, counselors can give students a psychology test game to analyze their mental health.
I think both of you has give a good explanation. Other than MPDL and STIE, inquiry-based science education, IBSE, is also one of the trends in science education. IBSE is an activity through interaction of teachers and students which connect the two activities of teaching and learning. The students can deeply understand a topic and not just gather information from teachers. Students are expected to get the knowledge from practical sessions rather than just memorize the science concept. In this trend, students have an opportunity to ask questions, obtain supporting evidence to answer questions, explain the evidence collected, associating information with the knowledge gained from process investigations, and establish an argument and justification for an explanation. IBSE has been introduced in Malaysia since 1960. According to Giliberti 2012, the IBSE emphasizes the acquisition of knowledge through independent exploration and a questioning attitude that encourages students to learn by experimenting in collaboration with their teachers. Furthermore, learning by doing is based on the personal research that aids students in determining what they need to know. Their cognitive function, as well as their sense of curiosity and creativity, will be enhanced. Moreover, teachers teaching and learning must stress higher order thinking abilities, first, which focus on inquiry-based learning and project-based learning in order for pupils to master the skills required in 21st century education. First of all, the teachers need to attract the students to be interested in a topic, then let them investigate the topic by themselves. Or the teachers can divide them into groups and ask them to discuss with their team members. Then create hypotheses and make prediction before doing an investigation. In addition, the teacher has to guide the students and ask the students some questions to test their understanding. Indirectly, the teachers can increase engagement and interest and also create collaboration, which is one of the elements in 6C. Secondly, the students need to search for evidence from various resources, such as the internet, books, or journals to answer teachers' questions. From the evidence that has been collected, students need to analyze and explain the information that they got with their own words.
Yes, you're right, Dina. Let me elaborate on the other point. Thirdly, students need to relate the information gained with the data from the investigation. Students need to think about the relationship between this data and information. For examples, experiment photosynthesis was conducted by the students. The data shows that the plants grow in the garden and doesn't grow in a room. So, students need to find the reason why the data is like that. Lastly, the student have to establish an argument and justification for an explanation. Students can interact with others and discuss with others group about the data obtained. They can share their opinion and knowledge about the investigation. Furthermore, students can ask teachers about something that they don't understand. From the discussion and answer from the teacher, students can make a conclusion about the investigation. Moreover, interesting inquiry activity can help develop skill in discussion, communication, and recording learning. Teaching of science based on inquiry enables students to integrate science process skill, scientific reasoning, and critical thinking to build their understanding of scientific concept. To summarize, inquiry-based science involves students doing science where they have opportunity to learn in a broader sense, develop problem-solving comprehension, and critical thinking skill using higher knowledge.
All right. So we already finished our discussion. We already discussed challenges and trends in teaching young scientists. I would like to repeat all of the points that we have discussed. The challenges in teaching young scientists are students' attitude and commitment to study science. The second one is lack of resources and facilities. And the last one is teachers need to be creative in teaching science. Then the trends in science education that we have discussed are STEM and PDL, STIE, and IBSE. So that's all from us. Thank you so much for listening and watching our video until the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.